Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Books and Boarding Passes. If you're new here, my name is Taylor and today I'm going to be chatting with y'all about Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Super cute today. Okay, Renegades is the first book in the Renegades series, like I said, by Marissa Meyer. At this point right now, the second book in the series, Anarchist, is out, and the third book is due to be released at the end of either this year or the beginning of 2020. I'm not 100% sure yet. Just to give you kind of a non-spoilery review, I did not expect to like this book at all, and I ended up really enjoying it. I was not into the fact that I felt like the characters were younger. Normally not into that. It's about superheroes, for lack of better terms. Definitely not into that, but I ended up actually really enjoying this book. So if you would not read this book because of those things, please give it a chance, because believe me, this is the last book I ever thought that I would actually like, and I ended up enjoying it so much. So to go over the kind of character development, since that's what I care about on this channel, is the characters. This story follows a girl named Nova. She is a prodigy. A prodigy is somebody that has like superpowers. The setting is very much in a modern city, very kind of present day setting, not anything too out there, not like high fantasy or anything. And so Nova is a prodigy, so she has superpowers, and her power is that she can make people fall asleep into a very deep sleep with an instant touch. And so you just follow her on her journey as an anarchist. I love the fact that she's a dark character and she's a female character and she is younger. I was really excited about that. It is a really good read, and she also ends up kind of getting into the mix with some renegades, and there's some conflict with that, and so I really did enjoy that part of it. I would definitely have to give this book a B+, just because there were some things that I really like in the book that were lacking, but they really didn't belong in this book. I just, for some reason, just don't feel like I could give it an A, but maybe the next book. There's so many questions I still have. So that's really all I can give you. Go read it, even if you think you wouldn't like it, just because I had the same reaction. I did read this book back in February for the BookTube games, and so I'm reviewing this super late, but I did go back, look over some notes, things like that, and so let's get into it. If you don't want to be spoiled, just click off now. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, come back later though, because I want to talk to you about it, because I ended up actually really liking this book, surprisingly. So click off, subscribe before you go though. Come back and let's talk about it. I just don't want to spoil you, but if you don't care, then keep watching. But enough, bye. Okay, so I have like 1,000 things to talk about. Here are my notes. Don't have it on my green pad. At first, I really did think that Nova's power of putting people to sleep was kind of dumb. But then you realize that her power actually isn't even the coolest part about her. She's this crazy inventor, this great fighter. She's really passionate. And so, like, to me, her power is almost like her secret weapon, where I felt like a lot of other anarchists and renegades really like relied on their power, where she, I felt like, just had it as almost like icing on the cake, if that makes any sense. And so when they decided that she would try to infiltrate the renegades and go through those trials, I was freaking out. I really did think that the trials would have like a Game of Thrones feel. Game of Thrones, Jesus Christ. Hunger Games feel, and that was going to last a long time, so I was really surprised when that was kind of a shorter trial, and it was only probably, I think, a couple chapters, even though I really enjoyed it, and I might have enjoyed it because it wasn't too long. I felt like she really showed them. I also thought it was cool, of course, you know, all the things that she had to do and decisions that she had to make. That's like, hey, I'm the youngest anarchist and I'm really going in here like straight undercover. I have no idea how long this is going to take. I'm playing a long game here. And just really showed her maturity in that she really did understand what was going on. And clearly, if you've made it this far, you've either read it or don't care to be spoiled. Not everybody else was willing to go the lengths that she was willing to go, or trusted that the plan would work if everything just went according to plan. So I did love the intro also of when her and her cronies are trying to kill the head renegades, and then she runs into Sketch after his little minion tries to steal her bracelet and then breaks it. I did think that that was kind of cute. He ended up being so much different to me than their initial reaction led me to believe he would be. He ended up being a lot softer than I think that initial conversation led me to believe. I also wish that they talked more about how Sketch's power works. I hope that they go into more depth about that, just because I'm really interested in it, and I feel like they didn't explain it, or that Marissa didn't explain it enough for my satisfaction. I thought the scene about her parents getting murdered was awful. After being done with the book, I still feel like there's more to that story than we're being told right now in Renegades. I feel like we're going to find out a lot more about that story in the following 2 books. And okay, do y'all want more stories of when she lived with her uncle? Because I do. Like, I need more. I want to know what it was like for her being a little girl growing up with a whole bunch of villains, for lack of better terms. I mean, because that's really what it is. I need to know more, Marissa. Give us more. Also, can we just talk about, is that Ruby is her name? The one that like bleeds weapons? Girl, I need you in so many other stories. I feel like she isn't necessarily given the recognition that she needs. Also, pause. I'm still so confused about where these powers come from, because it makes it seem like some people are born with their powers and then other people, their powers come out of tragedy. Like, I feel like Nova's came out of her tragedy of her parents dying, and then Ruby's power came out of her being assaulted. And so, but I feel like other people's were like just born with, and so I hope that we learn more about that, because I feel like that wasn't very well explained. Just in my opinion, I don't think it was. Also, I'm really confused about when she then becomes a renegade, and then she has like this new house, and then everybody just moves over there. Like, no one would have noticed that. She's literally being tracked all the time, and you never know when anybody's gonna show up, and she has like all of the anarchists living in this weird condo thing, and they haven't even furnished it for her. I'm just like, I'm so confused. I felt like the setting down in the tunnels was so much cooler. I understand that she couldn't have stayed down there because they track her, because she's a renegade, so she has her little bracelet. This makes me feel like a renegade, by the way. I don't think I would like being a renegade, though. The struggles, man. The library scene. Can we talk about it? What is up with Sketch? I can't even remember, like, his made-up name and why he feels the need to be like a whole different ass superhero for some random reason. I was not into that part of the story. That's probably why I gave this a B+, because, and not an A, because I did not understand that whole thing. Like, I mean, I understand, she explained it, but I just felt like it was unnecessary. Maybe it's going to come into play in the other 2 books, and this is just the groundwork, but I really do feel like that whole part about, it's like, I want to be everything, and da-da-da, I don't know. It just gets him into more trouble than anything, and he's always causing trouble. And it's, I don't like it. Just be Sketch and wait your turn. I hate when people think like they're helping, but really it comes off to me in situations like this that somebody's like holier than thou almost, and it's like, no, I can do all this, and even if nobody believes in me, I'm gonna do it anyways. It's like, or you could just take a chill pill. Tell your dads. Pause. Another thing, nice representation. I just love that it was like the 2 most badass superheroes were a gay couple, because that's what would happen in real life. That's what I think is, you can smell when stuff is like forced, you know, like you can smell acting or, you know, a bad attitude. You can smell when like an author just slaps diversity into their story for the sake of diversity. But I felt like that made sense. I liked the story. I liked that they were his adoptive dads and they loved him and were all sweet on him. And then he was just like, yeah, I have dads, and it wasn't a big deal. Loved it. Grade A. And talk about fuming when Nova's fellow anarchists just like turn on her, because talk about bitter, like salty. Can you even believe? I was just like, what is this chick's problem? I can't even remember what that girl's name is now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. This review is like literal shit. but I knew it would be. So I'm so sorry. I read this like 2 months ago and didn't take notes when I read it. I got that, you know, the tingly feeling when you're like, I don't fully know what's going on, but something's going on, and I know I need to keep an eye out to figure out what it is. That scene where she goes up in the tower and tries to go see Ace Anarchy's helmet that they have on display was so like emotional, because she is in enemy territory and is having to see her own, like, what would be a symbol of heroism to her looked at as a trophy of defeat to these other people, but since she's undercover she has to act like she's on the same side, then finds out it's not even the real helmet. So then where's the real helmet? And I saved this for last because I feel like this is probably the most important thing, and I keep on kicking my ring light, so sorry. Max. Max might have been my favorite part of this entire book. I really hope that's his name. The little boy that they keep in the glass castle. I did not catch on to what he was until it was literally spelled out to you. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. I just wasn't following it. I do think that that connection to some, like a younger child would have been cooler if like Nova and all them were older. I don't think I realize how old they are though. I think I've got this confused that they're a lot younger than they truly are, or maybe it's just because they kind of act like it. Also, his little friend, the one that walks around with a cane, reminded me of Six of Crows in a weird way. Don't put hate comments down below, I'm so sorry. So then when they find out that Max can absorb other people's superpowers, and it's not like, oh, I just like copy and paste, it's more like cut and paste, like once he takes them then you don't have them anymore. I caught on really quick on what their plan was, and so you find out that they used Max when he was a baby against anarchists, and their plan is that if a prodigy does not, and I hope I get this right, if a prodigy does not willingly decide to be a renegade, they will literally take the prodigy's powers. So pretty much like, you're not like, if you're not with us, you're against us. It's like, if you're not with us, you don't exist. I think that they laid little breadcrumbs along the way, but once that happened, it was like, the Renegades really aren't the good guys. Not really. And so, of course, there's an incident. The incident where Nova is just dumb. That's all that is. She was just dumb and almost got all of her power zapped. Goes back to the tunnels. And you find out this whole time that Ace is alive. I need to go back and reread, because it's like, did she not, like, did Nova not say her uncle was dead? Because she didn't act like she was surprised when he was there. I have so many questions. How is he alive? What, Marissa, what's the what? I just don't get it. So here are my questions at the end of this book. That's what I'm going to start doing in my reviews. I watched a review on this. I think it was Emma Books. Her review, where she talks about this being a love to hate trope, and she like ships them like heavy. And so like, no tea, no shade. I'm just really wondering, and she kind of addressed this, if this is technically a hate to love trope, since Sketch has no idea that she hates him. I don't think she hates him. I think she hates the Renegades. So is this a love to hate trope? I mean, hate to love? No, there's a story, love to hate. I'm just saying. Can we get a Tamlin? Amen. You get it. Also, how does Sketch's drawing thing work? I think I've already brought that up, but I'm so confused about that. I need... Like, Emma mentions how he draws so fast. Like, I don't understand how any of the drawing stuff works. Like, it just seems really... When Cassandra Clare says that as an author, if you have any kind of magic or whatever you want to call it in your books, the most important thing is to get the magic down. I felt like that was something that, like, If Marissa understands it, she did not explain it to us. And then the last thing is, I need to know more about phobia. I need to, what is, like at the very end, he says the little line that Sketch found with his mom's dead body. And so I just like wasn't that shook if he was the one that killed her. I was just like, okay, whatever. But I need to know more about him as a character. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Anyways, I tried to go on to read Arch Enemies, which is the second book. Is it Arch Enemies? Yes. It was during the BookTube games. Things were weird. I haven't read it yet, but I'm really excited to move on. Comment down below and let me know if you think that this is technically a hate to love trope or not, because that's my biggest dilemma at the moment. I also will have my link to my BookTube games wrap up where I tell more about just reading this book and reading other books along with it if you want to go check that out. I also have all of my social media down in the description. I'm Take Kells on pretty much everything, 2 L's and 2 Z's. And so you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, all the fun stuff like that. Also, before you leave, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. No one ever tells you to do that. Express yourself. Also, subscribe down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I know I skipped last week. That's because I needed to get my life together, but I do try to post weekly, and I will be posting some fun stuff. I have a new series called Slosh Sisters. If you want to go check that out, I will also have that link down in the description. But I think that's it. This has been such a weird review. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know. I think it's because I waited too long to film this review, so I won't do that again. But I will also have my review of Six of Crows coming up, and also I need to do reviews of Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash. I don't have time to get into that. Anyways, until next time, guys, don't forget to do it today. Bye.